Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Steve Ramona. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. Steve Ramona. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness. Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast.
Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. Every episode is an invitation, a reminder that business and life isn't just about profit, it's about purpose. It's about showing up with a servant's heart in every deal and every decision, every day to make a powerful impact on others. Today's guest is going to light you up. You'll be motivated, you'll be challenged, and most importantly, you're going to walk away with tools that inspire action both in your life and the lives of others. Audience, here's your homework. How will you serve yourself and others today? Doesn't have to be a big impact. Even a small act of kindness or courage can change the game. So lean in, take notes. Shout out to my two sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, and it deserves to perform like one. Want to think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer? Just text the word optimize to 72000. Optimize to 72000 and get instant access to 6 short, powerful videos, each just 3 to 5 minutes, that reveals simple strategies to unlock peak mental performance. Because when your brain is clear, your business grows. And Epic Impact, the storytelling system that helps your message connect and convert, it's just 4 steps. Engage, persuade, inspire, close with clarity. I use it every day for all my messages. Try it free at epicimpact.ai with code STEVE. Change your messages, change your results. Excited to announce Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast was named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you all of you, my guests and my audience. You've impacted so many people. Let's continue doing that. In 3. Welcome to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited, my guest today. Energy. What is that? Yeah, it's your light bulb on your wall, but no. How about energy in your relationships, in your job? Do you have enough of it? Well, let's bring our guest on, and we're going to talk about this and much, much more. Aaron, welcome to Doing Business with Servant's Heart.
Steve, thank you so much for having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in and listening and staying here with Steve through 800 plus episodes. That's absolutely incredible. So I appreciate you and your entire audience for having me on today.
Well, talk about bringing the energy right away. I'm loving this. This is cool. You have a diverse background. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I'll briefly get into it. That's one of those questions that I've been asked kind of my whole career. So I'll give you a quick high level of where I've come from. I'm an only child, so I think that plays into my youthfulness of things, my entertainment side of things. And I went to school in Orlando for engineering because my family kind of has an electrical background. And through that, one of my good friends introduced me to Nickelodeon. They were having some auditions. And through that, I started working with Nickelodeon as a show assistant, just making pie and slime and moving around these cartoon-sized props. And one of the things that transitioned me from engineering into this entertainment world was the impact that I was having on people. In a matter of moments, in a matter of seconds, I was seeing their faces light up. I was seeing this joy come out of them. And it's not just the kids. I was seeing this come out of the parents and the families. And I was seeing them reconnect in ways that I think gets really forgotten. So through that, I really leaned into the entertainment side of things. I started hosting shows. Then a DJ company picked me up to MC with them, and then I learned the DJ side of it. So now I'm hosting and I'm DJing. And then shortly after that, another friend felt this energy within me and was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about acting?" And I was like, "Come on, another one." And that brought me into the acting world. So those three things became my tripod for the longest time. And that's one of those questions that everyone kind of asks, whether you're at an event or a dinner gathering. Hey, what do you do for a living? Is generally that question that gets asked. And through getting asked that question, I was like, I keep saying these three different things, and sometimes I gravitate towards one or the other. But what's the through line here? What am I really doing? What purpose am I really serving? And I'm really tapping into energy and the energetics of things. And that's the angle that I take. And that's kind of where my entertainment background comes from. And what I love the most is really showing people and engaging people on how energy plays in to their everyday life, from their interpersonal relationships to their family relationships to their business relationships, and how all of that can really serve.
Well, I asked this question. I don't usually ask a person's background, but you said something before the show, sound of leadership. So your background adds, that's why I wanted to start with your background. Where'd that come from? Because I think that's brilliant because it's servant heart here or servant leadership podcast that you go
Yep.
anyway. Talk about sound of leadership.
Yeah, so the sound of leadership is my keynote that I have worked on for probably the last 3 years, and it's been in on stages over the last year. And it all fits underneath. I just talked about energy. So I'll backtrack a little bit here. That through line that I created, I called it the charismatic advantage. Charismatic advantage, the art of social energy. And so that became the umbrella that everything lives underneath. And the sound of leadership, what I did there with that is I wanted to create these parallels between DJing and leadership. How do these two things connect? How do I take something that I really love and enjoy, and it also gives other people joy, and something that individuals and leaders are impacted by daily and on the regular? So I was like, okay, let's take DJing, and I want to serve my DJ community by not only educating people more about what DJing is, because most of the time when people see a DJ or you tell them they're a DJ, they're like, "Oh, you're a DJ," and that's kind of what they know, but they don't actually know what's happening on those turntable tables. They don't actually know what's happening with the music and how energy really impacts that. So I took that aspect and I want to serve the DJ community in by educating people and by also doing right by other DJs out there, some of the legends of DJing, some of the up and coming DJs that want to be inspired and really tap into it. So there's that realm of it, and then there's the other realm of it, which is leadership. So what ties the two things together? I found the thing that ties those things together is alignment, right? So it's so easy. Alignment is such a simple concept, but it's so easy to become misaligned. Even when you're DJing, you've got two different records. You're taking this record that's playing and you're bringing this record in, and you need to match these two records. They need to get into alignment. They need to be in agreement with one another. They need to run parallel to one another. And it's a similar concept within leadership. As a leader, you've got to stay in alignment with your organization, your stakeholders, all of those different people, because if you get out of alignment, someone's now going this way, someone's going this way, someone's going that way, and it becomes harder and harder to correct when you become so misaligned. So I thought to myself, let's put these two things together, the sound of leadership, and really focus on that big problem there of misalignment and how we can focus on keeping things in alignment. And a big part of that is the energy of it. How are you? How are we serving our audience? How are we serving our customers, our clients, our stakeholders, our shareholders? How are we serving them? And if we can take the focus off of ourselves and we can put the focus on them and elevate them, our entire world changes. That's one of my core things that I say with Charismatic Advantage is it ain't about you. It ain't about you. And so much of the time, we get into our heads because we make it about us. And when we take that pressure off of ourselves and we take our platform or our stage and we take that and we use that to elevate other people, we put the focus on them, we raise them up, we give them value, we serve them, that is where everybody succeeds and that's where everybody rises. Yeah, so
So I
that's
jump into entrepreneurship even more.
yeah, I think that's a excellent substitution to do the sound of entrepreneurship in place of leadership there, because we're all entrepreneurs in our own right, right? It takes so much work and so much dedication to be an entrepreneur. And before I jump into that, I'll tap into what I just said there. It takes so much dedication. I like to reframe things a lot of the time with mindset. Uh, So a lot of the time people will say, "Oh, it's going to take you a lot of hard work," or "It's going to be a lot of hard work to do that." No one wants to work hard. I don't care who you are. No one wants to work hard. But dedicated work is a whole other realm. If you're dedicated to something, then you're putting in the effort, then you're putting the energy and you're putting the time in. So I think that is one of the really cool things about that substitution there about entrepreneurship is you have to be really dedicated to what you're doing because you're your own boss. You're HR, you're your management, you're the boss, you are social media, you're finance and accounting. You're doing all of those different pieces, and it's really, really easy to get burnt out on that, to be putting in 100 hours a week to really try and get your business to accelerate and to grow. And I talk about mindset and reframing because I think that is the tie into your show, right? What are we doing? Why are we doing it? Why did we become an entrepreneur? It's because we have a product or a service, right? That's what it's called, a product or a service that is serving someone and it's adding value to their life. And when we switch that perspective of how is this item, how is this thing serving, when we keep the focus there, that is where we find that dedication. That's where we find that motivation. That's where we find the energy to really tap into it. As a leader, if you become an entrepreneur, you become a business person to make money, then you're serving paper, right? You're going after this piece of paper that's printed out there that has this proclaimed value, and you get sidetracked, you get misaligned from the actual purpose, which is service. So I think if we really lock into that why, we tap into this energetic point, right? Of how is our energy serving other people? Before the show, we I kind of touched on it a little bit that you mention law of increase as one of your things, adding value without immediate expectations. Whereas I like to say in mine, it's this energy investment, right? Whenever we interact with someone, it's this energy investment. Are we making a deposit or are we making a withdrawal? Are we taking away from people or are we adding to people? And as leaders, as individuals, as entrepreneurs, I think if we find a way to continue to make deposits to people, we're going to have a bigger bank that we can make a withdrawal. It's this ping pong game that kind of happens. I give to you, you give back to me. That's one of those pieces of entertainment, whether I'm on a stage of 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and I'm doing an event for the NFL for the Super Bowl, or I'm DJing and I'm doing an opening set for Pitbull or DJ Khaled or BB Rexa or Journey or any one of those artists. It is this energy ping pong that's happening. So I give to them, they give to me, and then we're constantly elevating it. That's one of the things that I coach within the Charismatic Advantage is a +2 scale, really being able to systematize energy and knowing how to use it. So when you step onto a stage, you take those two aspects of it ain't about me and energetically, how am I serving these people? And that takes the focus completely off so that those people that are going, hey, Aaron, I could never do what you do. I could never be up on a stage speaking to all these people. But yet they're speaking to me, they're talking to me, and I'm going, hey, you're talking to me just fine right now. What's the difference? They go, oh, it's just a lot of people. But that's the thing. You're connecting one to one to one with these people, and then that expands into the entire audience. And it's the same concept in business. If you're serving as a leader, if you're serving your organization, if you're serving your team, if you're elevating those people, it's going to come back twofold, right? They're going to want to invest more time, more energy into the company because they believe in the company, and that will help your business. And not to be long-winded here, but that's one of the things that I did an event with Ed Bastian from CEO of Delta, and that's one of the things that he said is people want what is it? People want a reason to believe, so give them that reason. And if you do, then you're in the Ted Lasso world. Believe, and then you're really doing it. So that's kind of my perspective on things when you say the sound of entrepreneurship and what is that why? Where's your energy going? What is that service that you're giving and providing to people so that they're receiving value?
Law of reciprocity is the backside of law of increase or energy. Of energy. We'll just call it that because you're right. I've seen it. My business has massively grown because of building a podcast and building a network. This deposit withdrawal, you come up with something because you can't withdraw unless you deposit. I can't go to the bank. I've got zero deposits. I can't take money out there. Not saying, well, I can take a loan, but let's just use the simple. This is brilliant. I don't know if you did this purposely or accidentally, but I'm going to borrow that because we have to serve first. It's okay to withdraw, but do the energy first. Do the law of increase. I teach that all the time as well. And I see why Olivia had you as a guest because you fit this to a T. That's a multi-million-dollar tip you gave somebody. And truly, I've seen people do that. So introverts, how do they build their charismatic advantage? Because I talk to a lot of them and like, I can't be like you, Steve. You're not an introvert. And I'm not. And you're obviously not either.
I love introverts. I'm glad you asked me that question. I really love introverts. People ask me often, do you ever turn it off? Do you ever just relax it? And I do. I do relax it. And I'll come to the introverts here in a second. I think the piece of it that I really love is I just love giving to people. I love making people feel elevated and seen and heard. And introverts are some of the greatest people at listening. They're some of the greatest people at listening. And that is ultimately one of the greatest services to people, to be able to just listen to them. If you're in sales, you don't just take the pen and sell it to them. You're asking these questions. You're listening. You're hearing what their needs are in order to sell them that pen because they're going to give you all the answers. Introverts do that. They're some of the greatest listeners, so they're absolutely going to tap in and listen and be able to provide a service or be able to provide value to someone. You can be an introverted extrovert. You can be an extroverted introvert. That is the yin and the yang of the world. Is nothing is a purity. There's a little bit of something else in there in both of those realms. And it's about embracing those things energetically at different times. So if you're an introvert, that doesn't mean you're tapping into this big, loud energy all the time. This doesn't mean that that I have to have this toxic positivity all the time. That's not what it means. And one of those things that I coach people on and I show people is even if you're an introvert, you listen to what people are saying, and that way you can end up giving them value. Here's kind of what I mean by that. So with an introvert, they may think that let's say it's a scale of 1 to 10. They may think that their energetic scale is a 1 to a 4, let's say. And maybe that's a very high energy thing for an introvert. Let's say that. And they see someone that's an extrovert and maybe their scale is a 4 to a 10. So when you're looking at that, you may think as an introvert, oh, I can't be a 6 or a 7. How am I supposed to get people engaged or excited or any of that? But if your range is a 1 to 4, you can fluctuate within that range and you can still create something absolutely meaningful. Anything that stays at one level over a period of time becomes monotone. It becomes one note. So if you're at a 3 energy level, that essentially will flatline over time. If you're an extrovert and you're at an 8 energy level all the time, that will flatline over a period of time. It's about that energetic roller coaster that you're creating. What does a roller coaster do? Some of the best roller coasters, they take you up, they drop, they curve, they loop, they sometimes, in the part of roller coasters that I hate the most, they come up and then they coast and then they drop again. Those are the pieces of energy that when you understand how that works, you can really make that connection with people and you can really make that impact with people and you can really serve people. As an introvert, you don't have to be able to go to a level 8 or a 9 or a 10. Just fluctuating between a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, just fluctuating in between that is enough. And what you're not seeing is that energetic exchange that you're having with someone, that's going to level up. And next thing you know, you may both be at 4s, you may both be at 5s, you may both be at 6s because you're ping-ponging off of each other and really giving. Versus those people that tank you. They really pull that energy and you're like, socially, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I can't go to that party. I can't go to that outing. I'm done because you're looking at it as it's an energy draw from you. It's so much of that withdrawal because you're thinking, how can you give? And the focus is on you in a sense versus talking to those people and really hearing those people out. So as an introvert, man, you guys are some of the best people to have a platform or to be on a stage because you're the ones that are the most receptive. And to take pieces from improv and acting, you have to send something, someone has to receive it before they can send it back. It's not just send, 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 not just receive, 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 receive. There's a send, someone reacts and responds to that, and then they receive it and then they can send it back. And as an introvert, man, you guys are the best at that. And that's one of the phrases that I love to say is I don't need a stage to make magic, but it helps. You know,
Yeah.
it's not about this platform or this thrust stage or being above other people to be able to deliver a message. You could be in your kitchen, you could be in the office, you could be on a Zoom call. Any of these can be your stage, can be your platform. But are you taking that platform and are you putting the spotlight on you? Or are you flipping the script and are you putting the spotlight on your audience, your customer, those people that you need to serve?
Serving is agnostic to people, introvert, extrovert. And I take time off. I read. I have to leave because I'm on, like you, I'm top of the game all the time. I've got to become an introvert. And I'm learning to shut up on podcasts. Like I was listening to you, I'm like taking notes, listening. 2 years ago, I couldn't do that. I tried to interrupt. Oh my God. Now it's like, take it, listen for value. I love that because I've taken 2 people that are introverts. They've launched podcasts and they're fantastic.
Yeah.
You ask a question, you shut up. I say shut up to make that point. Active listening, you could call whatever you want. So you're nailing this. And we've come to the end, and this is brilliant stuff. We're gonna have you come back for part two if you're willing, because this
Absolutely.
this is this is a message that needs to keep being said. I think everybody serves, and you can agree with me. They're just not. They're pitching. They're not serving. They're pitching
Correct.
themselves, not serving other people. I love it. So let's end with a fun question. Let's get to know Aaron a little better.
I
So
love
we're gonna
that.
improv. We're gonna do improv. So I've reserved a table at a restaurant for you. Table for four. You got one of the chairs. You could bring family members, extra chairs, but those three empty chairs, whether they're dead or alive, who would you invite to sit and talk and have dinner with, to get to know, to get mentoring, to get knowledge from? But more importantly, what food would you order for the table?
Oh, I love it. I love this question. All right. Let me break this into pieces. Let me break this into pieces. So, first of all, before I get into specifics of who I would invite, first of all, those three people that I would invite are people that have completely different perspectives from what I have. I would
Mm,
want them to be extremely diverse in who they are because hearing and receiving these different perspectives, uh, what I put into The Sound of Leadership is the power of unlikely collaborations. And I feel like those three people, if they're completely different, I'm going to gain a whole different perspective of knowledge and understanding. And that is what listening is. It is being able to gain perspective. It is, if you're one of those people that struggle to listen, you can look at it as a suspension of disbelief, as if you're going to a Broadway play. You know, those characters up there on the stage aren't actual lions and gazelles and zebras. You know they're an actor, but you suspend that disbelief for a little while so that you can be a part of that story. So, yeah, those three people would be completely different in perspective. To touch on what are we eating, I don't know specifically, but I do know that it could be a hot dog or it could be a steak. A steak with some terrible people may not be the best steak. A hot dog with incredible people is, man,
oh.
that's probably the best jumbo uncured Frank you've ever had because of the company that you're
Absolutely.
with. Um, so those three people, if I'm gonna make it very specific here, I think in contemporary modern times, despite all of the drama, I think Will Smith would be one of those people based on his career, the longevity, the social pressures he's experienced, his personal life. I think he would bring a wealth of knowledge and perspective, um, from both the good side of things and
Mhm.
the bad side of things. So I think he would be one of those people. I also respect and appreciate the acting side of things for him, the DJing, rapping side of things. A lot of people don't know that he was huge in music before he was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Um, so I think he would be one of those seats. Um, I think another one of those people that would sit there with me would be Rosa Parks for her audacity and her fearlessness, whether she was fearless or not, as leaders, even if we are afraid or have a perceived fear, we still have to lean into it. We've got to lean into that fear. And Rosa Parks is one of those people that, again, her perspective, her insight, I think being able to have bold conversations or to take a stand about something is massive. And then the third person that I think would be there, I think the third person that would be there is Anne Hathaway, because she's just gorgeous. Um, so
Nothing wrong
I
with
think,
that.
yeah, I think I think that would be part of it because I feel like it'd be a really great conversation, and I don't care who you are. When someone attractive is there, uh, you are inspired by them, you're motivated by them, you want to learn more from them, and um, it also puts you in the place of, like we were just talking about, listen to them because sometimes you want to just say all of these things to impress them and get them to like you. Um, but that's not the case. So I think it creates a patience. It creates
Mm,
a,
patience is good. Yeah.
an element of being present in the moment to really listen and learn and to hear what they have to say. And so, yeah, I think if we're doing a little improv and that's what you're asking me, I think those are the three people that I would have there.
Very diverse. You nailed it. You nailed it. And I'll come over for the hot dog. Shouldn't be eating them, but one hot dog won't hurt if I'm talking to you in that group. That's fantastic.
I love
You've
it.
been a great podcast guest. Wonderful. I knew you would be because your background, but you really have the energy to help people. I love that about you. I know people listening want to connect with you. How's a great way to connect and see some of the stuff you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the best ways to kind of see all encompassing of all the things I'm doing is my website, which is aaronsmalls.com, Aaron Smalls like Biggie.com, aaronsmalls.com. So you can kind of see everything. My email, contact at Aaron Smalls. You can reach me there. On social media, you can find me, the Aaron Smalls, or at my business, which is Curiously Talented. So you can find me on social there. They can also reach out to you, and you can connect them with me, Steve. Um, but yeah, those are all the different ways for them to get in touch with me. And as we kind of wrap up, I'd love to pose a challenge to everyone that's listening and really create, I guess, a call to action or some homework for all those people. And I like to call it the spotlight shift throughout the week. Instead of finding the times to tell people who you are and what you're doing and really share about you, shift that spotlight shift. Take that spotlight and turn it towards them, kind of put them in the spotlight and hear what they're going through. What is something that excites them that they have coming up, whether personal or business? What is something that makes their heart sing? I don't like to say passionate because anyone and everyone can be passionate about something, but there's those things that really make our heart sing, that tap into our gift, that get us into flow, that zone, that place where your whole body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed for all of these different insights and notions. They just kind of flow and they just kind of come out of you in this energetic way. So yeah, I think that you have all those different ways to reach out to me, and I'd love to put that spotlight shift out there for people.
Well, that homework is going to pay you guys because the first two people that reach out to Aaron and mention the podcast, he'll let me know. I'm going to send you both a gift. You tell him that you did the spotlight. I am going to gift you because it will change your life. That's the big gift and the impact, but I'll send you a gift too. Um, because
Steve, I
I love
love
what
that.
you're doing. I
I didn't
love what
even
you're
know that you
doing.
could drop. I didn't even know that you could drop the F word on podcasts. Free. Listen to that.
That's a word we should be saying more and more. And I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for being on. An audience, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Today's show is a gift. I think podcast links are a gift. You resonate with somebody, you're talking to somebody, and they're like, I'm just not connecting with people. I think this is
Yeah.
the greatest podcast you can send them. Learn to have energy. Learn if they're an introvert, send the link to them. Go, hey, I just heard this guy Aaron. He's talking about introverts. It's perfect for you. That's truly what I think podcasts are about. So go ahead and subscribe to mine or any others that you're listening to, and let's share it with the world. With that being said, being there, I want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.